That's not an egg frying. It's the Martin County real estate market, which is sizzling hot. Values are high and so is demand. Properties draw competitive offers within minutes of going public. A national website won't help you navigate this market. You need a local expert. You need Martin County Realtors of the Treasure Coast. Our members know the neighborhood, the communities, the natural resources. They'll help you discover the hidden gems and work hard to get the best price possible. Visit findalocalrealtorexpert.com.
We're gathered here today to join Mike and Jill in holy matrimony.
So they may file jointly this tax season.
And you are?
April from TaxAct, the tax filing software with the expert guidance to help you file for less and get more.
Works for me. So, Mike, do you take this woman to love, honor, and get her a maximum refund?
I do.
Jill?
Ditto.
I now pronounce you married, filing jointly.
I always cry at filing status updates.
TaxAct.
Switch to TaxAct today and start for free.
See taxact.com for details.
Let's get ready to mortgage. He is the prince of programs, guru of guidelines, master of matrices. He puts the fun in funding. Please welcome Mark, Mr. Mortgage Eitel.
All right. Hey, everybody. My name is Mark Eitel, host of the Mr. Mortgage Show, and happy weekend to everybody. We really appreciate you spending some of your weekend with us each and every weekend. So before we dig in, I just wanted to thank everyone for their questions this week. We had some questions come in via phone at the office over the course of this past week, as well as questions that were emailed to us. So I encourage everybody to send in their questions, and the anytime hotline is 561-291-8569. You can call or text if you don't want to talk to us, 561-291-8569. Dom, my producer's in the studio with me, and he is manning the question line. So any questions that you have, we are happy to answer them for you. This show is designed to be for you. We want to provide content that you find meaningful. So if there's topics that you'd like us to cover or questions that you have, please continue to send them in. Again, this is for you, so we want this to be interactive. So again, 561-291-8569, or if you'd prefer email it, just visit the website www.mr.mortgage. There's no .com, just mr.mortgage. Actually, you don't even need to type in the www. Just go to your browser, type in mr.mortgage, and we will magically appear. In the upper right-hand corner is a tab that says About Us, and there's the Contact Us form. So hit the website, text your questions in. We are here for you. And let's jump into this week's show. So I want to talk about 1982. And first of all, can you believe that was 40 years ago? I can't believe 1982 was 40 years ago. Fast Times at Ridgemont High, one of my all-time favorite movies as a kid, was released in 1982. And Duran Duran released their album Rio with the hit song Hungry Like the Wolf. I don't know how many of you remember the early MTV days, but you couldn't turn MTV on without seeing that video, Hungry Like the Wolf from Duran Duran. And the San Francisco 49ers won the Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken, in 1982. But why am I waxing nostalgic about 1982? Well, the inflation numbers that were released this week harken back to 1982. We are at a 7.5% annualized inflation rate, and we have not seen numbers that high since 1982. So, grab your cassette tape of Duran Duran's Rio, and as you're pumping that $4 a gallon gas and spending $6 a pound for ground beef, maybe the old tunes will make it more nostalgic and less frustrating. But inflation certainly has a grip on us. It's here to stay, at least for the near term. And I know we were told it was, what was the term they used? It was the first time I'd heard it in a long time. Bear with me. The term they used was transitory. It was going to be here just for a short time as the economy transitioned. And it's scary that we were told that. But anyway, inflation's here. And the reason I'm mentioning inflation is, and it happened again this morning as I was prepping for the show. I was reading an article in Forbes magazine, the online edition, and they were talking about strategic investment strategies to hedge against inflation. And naturally, they covered all of the go-tos, if you will, precious metals, gold and silver as a hedge against inflation. There's some bond plays that make sense as a hedge against inflation, but also real estate. They touted real estate as a strong hedge against inflation, which is awesome for us here in our area as real estate remains strong, but in the business. So it makes sense to own and to be buying real estate if you're in the position to do so, not only for your own equity gains long term, but as a place to park your money to hedge yourself against this inflationary cycle that we're in. And we talked about that last week. There's a lot of loan programs that allow you to invest in real estate and not need a lot of income on your own. We're using the strength of the property for the underwriting of the investment property loan in the form of a debt service coverage ratio. So if the property cash flows, it's fundable from the lender standpoint. So I'm not going to dive too much into that. We covered that last week. I know we had some questions during the week regarding that loan product, and I talked to several of you. Larry out in Wellington, thank you so much for the call this week and for trusting me with your transaction. It looks like we're going to be able to do that for Larry. So that was nice to get that call this week. But also we talked about reverse mortgages last week, and we had a lot of questions come in during the week about reverse mortgages. So I want to dive in a little deeper regarding that particular loan product, primarily as a hedge against the cost of living increases associated with the inflationary cycle that we're in. So we're going to dive into that this week. So we'll continue to answer your questions. We're going to cover all the news of the week. We're going to cover the loan products that are available to you in this marketplace. And 1982 brought us some good movies, and some may question some good music, but it certainly brought us a high inflationary rate, and 2022 is bringing that right back to us. So I know it's super frustrating out there. There was another article that I read in CNBC this week, I believe it was published on Wednesday, that talked about consumer debt has increased to the highest level they've ever recorded. And I want to say it was an additional $13 billion in consumer debt. I'll pull the article at the break and just confirm that. But that's an interesting place to watch for the overall health of the economy, because as the Federal Reserve starts increasing interest rates, the consumer debt is what gets hit first. So your credit card payments go up. It costs more money to finance an automobile, a motorcycle, a boat. So a larger chunk of your income is being spent on consumer debt. So if you couple the largest increase in consumer debt with the inflationary cycle that we're in, right? So it's going to cost you more to make your credit card payment, but it's also costing you more for gas. And you couple that with some aggressive rate hikes over the next 2 to 3 years, as is forecast by the Fed, it's going to cost you more to live. And one of the best places to offset increased living expenses is to buy a home. So circle that all the way back to real estate as a hedge against inflation. If you own your home with a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, or your principal and interest payment doesn't go up, that portion of your mortgage payment never increases. Granted, taxes and insurance will adjust from time to time, but the lion's share of your mortgage payment is locked for 30 years. Now, that in contrast to somebody renting, those rent charges go up every year typically. So if you just want to hedge your expenses from a housing cost over the next period of time moving into this inflationary cycle, buying makes sense. And we talked about it many, many times on the show, and I'll continue to talk about the value of owning real estate. But if you're, able to pay $2,000 or $3,000 a month for rent, some people are paying far more than that. You're certainly able to consider purchasing a home and stabilizing that monthly housing payment by getting a 30-year fixed rate mortgage or whatever makes sense to you, a 15-year fixed rate. But my point in all of that is just that a fixed rate loan product stabilizes that housing expense while everything around you continues to go up. So that's a secondary way to use real estate to hedge against inflation. You couple that with the cost of money now. Even at these slightly higher interest rates, the cost of money is still ridiculously low, so it's going to be cheaper than the other sources of funds as are available in an inflationary cycle. So we are going to be right back with you after this short break. On the other side of this, we'll cover your questions. So just keep sending those questions in. 561-291-8569 is the Anytime hotline. 561-291-8569 is that hotline number. We'll see you on the other side of this break. Hey, it's Mark Eitel here, host of the Mr. Mortgage Show. And you've heard me talk about the valuation tool that we use in our lending practice almost daily. It's not quite an appraisal, but it's way more accurate than one of those online estimates. And we're happy to run one of those reports for you at no charge. Just visit freevaluereport.org. That's freevaluereport.org. Give us a little information about the property, and we'll be happy to send you your report. That's freevaluereport.org. Are you a rock star real estate agent? I mean, truly one of the best? If you are, let's talk. This is Mark Eitel, host of the Mr. Mortgage Show, and we are currently expanding our network of rock star referral partners. If you think you have what it takes, we'd love to connect. Just visit Mr.Mortgage. That's www.mr.mortgage. There's no .com. Just type in Mr.Mortgage, hit the Contact Us button, and let's talk. It's not every day that you need an appraisal, whether it's for a divorce settlement, estate planning, or maybe you're appealing a tax assessment, or you just want to make sure you have adequate coverage in your property insurance. When you need a certified appraisal, turn to my friends at SOFLappraisal.com. That's SOFLappraisal.com. Peter and his team have been appraising properties here in South Florida for decades. SOFLappraisal.com. And tell them you heard this on the Mr. Mortgage Show.
Here's another 5-star review.
We started our loan with a different company. They said we were approved, but at the last minute they told us there was a problem. I still don't know what went wrong, but thankfully our real estate agent told us about Mark. I was pretty stressed, but it's the perfect house, so we gave Mark a shot. He got it done. I'm not sure what was different, but I don't really care. We even got a better interest rate and with less money out of pocket than the first guy quoted us. It was a great surprise. Yes, I'm happy to recommend Mark and his Mr. Mortgage team.
Welcome back to the Mr. Mortgage Show. Call us now, 561-291-8569.
All right, we are back. Again, my name is Mark Eitel, host of the Mr. Mortgage Show. And you heard the big guy. Give us a call or text your questions to 561-291-8569, the Anytime hotline, 561-291-8569, or shoot us your questions via the web at www.mr.mortgage. So we're going to dig into some questions. As promised, we're going to cover reverse mortgages a little bit in this segment, as we got a lot of questions over the week regarding them. And there are 2 or 3 questions that seem to be popping up regularly. But I know Dom just held up his finger there, letting me know that, well, is he giving me the finger or holding up his finger? I'm not sure, but a reverse mortgage question came in the first segment. So Dom, what do we have there?
All right, so here we have, do I need to have a certain credit score to qualify for a reverse mortgage? My credit is not great. Will this make a difference?
All right, that is a great question, and we get that a lot. So I'm going to start by answering that question, then I'm going to dig into the other questions that are typically asked about this product. So your credit score does not matter. So you can get a reverse mortgage with a lower credit score. Your credit is reviewed. The lender is going to want to see your willingness, not necessarily your ability, but your willingness to repay. So they're going to review your credit. They're going to look at your credit history, but it's not a score-driven product. And I encourage you not to let that be a hindrance to having the conversation, be it with me and my team or someone else regarding the reverse product, because Credit score is not an issue with this particular product. They're looking at your age and they're looking at the value of the property. Credit score is not scrutinized in the reverse mortgage product from an underwriting standpoint. They want to make sure, the lender that is, that there is nothing that's going to hinder the property, so that no tax liens or